Hi, I was very thankful to hear on WBCL about Dr. Myers. Since Riley's been in school, she always got good grades and such, but when we would have our reading time and such, and I would want to put the book in front of her and have her go along after she got into first grade to try to help her with words, she never really wanted to participate at that point. She wanted to let me read the stories and such to her, and then when she started writing, she was having some trouble with transposing some of her letters. She had been in speech at school, but a lot of those things weren't really helping her. We practiced every night like we were supposed to, and so that was the school part. And then on the other part with Riley, as far as her athletics and such, she was always having a hard time not stumbling and throwing her body around. And my other two girls are gymnastics or played ball, and she was having difficulty with those kind of things. Just some of the simplest things. It was getting really irritated, and it just didn't seem right because she was so outgoing. She's very smart. She always got good grades, and so in her first grade, after she had tutoring. And she was still having trouble with a lot of her reading, and they would send work home. So I'm thinking, well, something's going on here. So I started working with her myself in that whole summer between first and second grade. And I was about ready to pull my hair out. I just think, we've done everything that they said. They said that she might have a vision issue. She went and got glasses. We were practicing, and it still wasn't getting any better. And she was getting more frustrated, and Grandma, I don't want to read. It's like, oh my gosh, So, this is kind of a crazy thing. Her academics, she was still getting good grades, but, she's still having some issues, and she's getting ready for the second grade. One summer, or at the end of that summer, she went to a gymnastics camp, and she was doing that once a week in a class, and she was at camp all week, and she was really struggling with simple things, and the teacher would come up to me and say, Riley, she's been doing this at class, and she's not doing it this week, and it was like, oh, time out, and Riley didn't want to go back. So thankfully, at that next week, when she was starting school, I heard on WBCL about Dr. Myers. And he was talking, and he was listing all of these things that kids go through, that might have these vision issues. And vision issues to me was like she needed glasses, and that would help. Well, that wasn't the case, and I knew that didn't help, with Riley. And in fact, we find out that it might have made it a little bit worse. So, I started checking off all these things that he was saying about, her coordination, and she may have double vision, and so that afternoon I called, and I got her in within a couple days and learned about what vision therapy is really all about. And it's been a huge impact with Riley. She's always been ongoing at home, but her schoolwork, is greatly improved in the way that she talks, the way that she's paying attention to things. And what got my heart was the day before her first day at second grade, she said, Grandma, she goes, I don't think I'm smart enough to go to second grade. Well, it makes me want to cry because it was like, oh my gosh. And it was just at that time, that was in August, and Riley came here at the end of August, so it was like a huge thing for us. And we're just ending up today, and I'll let Riley talk a little bit about her experience and what she thinks about today being her last day. So you can go ahead.
When I started to come, I thought that she was like 5 minutes after she heard about it, she asked me, do you want to do vision therapy? And of course I said yes. So I thought it was going to be boring, but when I got there, I thought it was going to be like homework, being really boring and just reading and stuff like that. But it turned out it was actually really fun. And the awesome part about it is that Sarah challenged me when it was like 3 or 4 months when I was into that. She challenged me to do all this coordination and crossing my eyes. And when I first started that, I was dying to cross my eyes, and when I knew I was crossing my eyes, I got so excited. When we got home, I just ran up and jumped on my bed. I was so excited, and my friends think that the vision therapy is cool too. So I'm gonna start bringing some stuff there. So because a lot of my friends can't cross their eyes, and I want to help them so they can cross their eyes.
What about it with your reading?
Yeah, that's what the tutor thing's about. I would read a story, they would ask me some questions, and when we started that, I cannot remember a single thing, but later when I was doing that, I felt so good because I remembered everything that I read. Because I don't know why I was forgetting those things, because mostly when I read it, I can remember it, but I couldn't do it. And I just was so excited when I got that too. I mostly like reading on my own now because, mostly because I like reading chapter books, because it used to be so hard for me to read chapter books. I wouldn't understand it. I wouldn't want to finish them. I thought it was too hard. But now, since I was in this, it was so awesome that I knew how to read. Because when I was in first grade, I hate reading. I did not like that. But when I was in second grade and I learned what all the words meant, I loved it. I just got on my bed, got a book, and I just read it.
Yeah, one of the things that we found out is that in the beginning that Riley had four developmental issues with her vision, and I had no idea, it was some of the simplest of things that we can do at home and stuff that helped it, and that what it was. Sarah gave her the tools and the excitement, and we did it at home, and it even got to the point to, I'm on the road, I travel, and she lives with Grandpa and I, and it was Riley that brought the books to us, and Riley that brought the papers to us, and she was really, truly excited because it did make a huge difference, and it's a lifelong thing. So we really appreciate being able to come to Dr. Myers, and we would, tell anybody, that if they have any of those issues that, you can find an answer here.